Subaru was ahead of its game with the original XV, a car that built on the appeal of the Impreza with a few clever touches. SUV sales have exploded since then, so Subaru is back with an all-new XV based on the 5th generation Impreza hatch.
Few companies can match Subaru's history with compact crossovers. The brand has been putting all-wheel drive systems into little cars for a long time, and Subaru is famous for its all-wheel drive practicality, which lies at the heart of the XV. This is a difficult car to pin down, as it's bigger than the new crop of baby SUVs, such as the Mazda CX-3 and Toyota CHR, but smaller than the Toyota RAV4 or the Honda CR-V. The new XV range features 4 model lines that share the same body, engine, all-wheel drive system and automatic transmission. We're testing the XV Premium, which sits towards the top of the range.
Subaru has listened to owners by lifting the quality of its cabin. This 8-inch touchscreen is much better integrated than anything we've seen from the brand before, and it features things like Apple CarPlay, a reversing camera and sat-nav that'll no doubt be welcomed by owners. I like the use of orange stitching throughout the cabin, and there's a decent amount of room in the front and rear, though I think the boot is a bit small for a car of this class.
Under the bonnet, the new XV has a 2-litre engine with 115 kilowatts of power, 5 kilowatts more than before. Straight line performance is not a strong point, and the engine needs to be worked hard to give its best. The only transmission available is a CVT automatic. We had a few issues with the continuously variable transmissions in a number of XVs, which can feel unrefined, coarse, and just a little lumpy around town.
Not everyone is going to love that CVT automatic transmission. It really dulls your inputs and takes the edge off what is a none too powerful engine to start with. It really feels like it loses some power through this auto, and that's probably not a good thing. If you love driving, you probably won't love the CVT. But then again, if you're just looking for a car to get you from A to B in safety and comfort, then you won't be bothered by it. And for the majority of buyers for this sort of car, they're just going to jump in, stick it in drive, hit the start button and be on their way. And if you're in that camp, you're not going to have a problem with this at all. The XV drives undoubtedly like a Subaru. There's a real weight to the controls that you get with these kind of cars that isn't present in everything else. There's some heft to the steering, the brakes need a little bit more shove than most cars, and the throttle doesn't quite deliver that kind of sprightly response that you get from some things. You really do feel like you're driving the Subaru. The Impreza, the XV, the Forester, they all kind of fit into that same category. There's a real familial feel to these cars. Part of that is down to its all-wheel drive system. This car has immense levels of traction thanks to its 4-wheel drive and real lack of power, so you're not going to be spinning the wheels anytime soon. There's a decent amount of grip thanks to its big chunky tyres and the promise of off-roading, which most people aren't really going to use, but it's nice to know that it's there thanks to that high ground clearance 4-wheel drive system and again those chunky tyres.
Safety has always been a selling point for Subaru, and that remains the case with the XV. All but the base model XV are equipped with Subaru's EyeSight safety suite, which brings active cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, lane keeping assistance, and more. This car has a 5-star safety rating and plenty of airbags to protect you.
Another factor that you might not want to use all the time, but it's nice to know that it's there, is the safety suite. I've been driving this car a little while and I am really impressed with how the active cruise control system works. It is something that I'm using every day. A little less so by things like the lane keeping assistance, which nibbles away at the steering as you're driving. There's a big button on the steering wheel, you can turn that off and never use it again. I think a lot of people might be in that camp.
The XV is a solid all-rounder, but it doesn't come cheaply. Priced from $32,140 plus on-road costs, this is one of the more expensive models in its class, particularly when there are more compact options. Although many of its rivals have caught up, the XV remains one of the most compelling compact SUVs on sale.